If one loaf could explain the beauty of East Asia, it's this cloud pandan toast. It has everything I love. The softness from Tanzhong and coconut, the aroma of pandan leaves, and make the most unique breakfast you will ever try. Kaya toast. Let's make it, shall we? For this recipe, we need a stiff starter. Don't panic, it's just a starter with lower hydration. Instead of 100%, it's 50%, which I made it 4 hours in advance with 25 gram water, 50 grams starter, and 50 grams flour. For more info on this and the recipe, make sure to check the description. Next, tangzhong. In a pan, add 20 gram flour followed by 100 grams milk. Before turning on the heat, try to mix it up and kinda dissolve all the flour in the milk. Continue stirring on medium-low heat until it thickens up and you have the consistency like a roux. Something like this. If you're Asian, you know what is pandan leaves better than me, right? But if you're from another countries, you can order pandan paste online or you can get it from any Asian store. But if you use the paste, you need to adjust the hydration. Maybe you need another 30 to 40 gram liquid, can be coconut milk or water. Here in East Asia, people use these beautiful pandan leaves in almost every single desserts and sweets because it's packed with aroma. It's kind of a substitute for vanilla, I can say. Take a few leaves, cut them into the chunks, into the blender, followed by half a cup of water and blend them up. Then press through a sieve and take the juice out of it. I like to press it between my hand and take the last drop of juice out of it. Look at the color. Time to make the main dough. In a medium-sized bowl, add 6 grams salt followed by 15 grams brown sugar, all the tangzhong, which is 120 gram. Look at the gluten network of my stiff starter. All the stiff starter, which is about 120 grams. You can cut it into the pieces. 40 grams pandan juice. This not gonna give you that super green crumbs. If you want that, use pandan extract or pandan paste. And 35 to 40 grams coconut milk. Adjust the hydration according to your comfort. Crack 1 egg, 1 small egg, about 55 grams. And then with the help of fork, mix them up. Forgot to mention, you need to use all the ingredients cold from the fridge. Lastly, 280 grams bread-strong flour. Time to mix everything with your beautiful hands. Get ready for a good 10 minutes of kneading. If you have a stand mixer, you can dump everything into the mixer, mix it for 3 to 5 minutes or until the dough comes together, then add the butter gradually. Everything would be the same, but with hand is more fun, right? When you see some gluten development and you have a strong dough like this, time to add butter. If you are using mixer, little by little. There is no better way to do that. Don't panic, just keep mixing. It will come together. Don't worry. After 3 to 5 minutes, you notice the dough start to come together and kind of clean up the surface by itself. Mix it for another 3 to 5 minutes and check the dough temperature. If it was so high, you need to let it chill for about 30 minutes. Let the dough to cool up in the fridge for 30 minutes, then bring it on the surface and knead this bad boy for another 3 to 5 minutes. You can spray little water to moisten it up if it was quite stiff, and you can do this for 3 to 4 times. It is taggy but not so sticky, but should be smooth and elastic like this. I wish you could smell this though. I want to eat this right away. Look how elastic and smooth it is. Then into the small bowl, cover it up and let it ferment. Which at 27 to 28 degrees Celsius, it's not gonna take so long. Something like 1.5 an hour to 2 hours. And we have like 40 to 50% rise. The dough pulls away from the side of the bowl easily. It's puffy and airy. you see some bubbles forming on the surface, and that's it. That's all I can give you. Then cut it into 3 equal pieces, and this is how you shape a shokupan or Japanese style loaf. For you to understand the shaping method better, I will show this from different angles. Make sure to seal the edges, and that's it. Put them in a Pullman pan. If you're not sure your Pullman pan is non-stick, please grease it up generously. And don't worry about that huge gaps. They're gonna rise dramatically. And this is the size of my Pullman pan. Cover them up and let's hope for a good rise. Meanwhile, let's make the main ingredients of this show. Let's make kaya. Make sure to check the description for more details. 32 grams brown sugar. Traditionally, they use whole egg to make this beautiful coconut jam. But the trick here is to make it less than 10 minutes, you need to just use yolks. Mix up 3 medium-sized yolks, brown sugar, and a pinch of salt together. A tablespoon of pandan juice or a little bit of pandan extract. If you have coconut cream, that's the best. But if you use coconut milk, make sure to let it simmer for a couple of minutes before using it. Temper the yolks, mix them up through a sieve, you know, right? And then on a double boil, medium-low heat. Better to use whisk and continue mixing on medium-low heat until it thickens up, which might take somewhere between 8 to 10 minutes. Some people like it a bit runnier like this, but if you like it a bit thicker like this, you need to continue mixing for another 1 to 2 minutes. Gorgeous. Look at it. I guarantee the smells of kaya gonna wake up all of your family, even the laziest one. In my house, it's not gonna last more than 1 to 2 days. But you can easily store this into the fridge, maybe for 1 week if I'm not mistaken. After 3 hours, we have a good rise here, but we are not done yet. Time to preheat the oven at 195 degrees Celsius. The dough has risen 4 to 5 times itself, and when you poke the dough gently, it feels extremely soft. Let it rise until the highest point of the dough, about 1 centimeter below the rim. I can say that's the only reliable visual indicator. Then slide the greased lid on and baking time. Bake at 190 degrees Celsius on the center rack for about 40 minutes. Then remove the lid and bake for another 5 minutes to get little color on the crust. For this bread, we are not looking for any dark or crispy crust. I know this smells killing you, but you need to let it cool down completely. Congratulations, my friend. If you have 3 beautiful blocks sticking to each other, something like this, creating a gorgeous loaf, you made it. The ideal internal temperature after baking should be about 90 to 95 degrees Celsius. This right here is perfect. Let's just watch. Now you know what is cloud toast, right? You are welcome, my friend. But one thing left. We have the bread, we have the kaya. Let's make a kaya toast. But first, take a look at this gorgeous crumb? I mean, wow, right? As simple as this. Trust me. Amazing. The most simple yet unique breakfast I have ever had in my entire life. Kaya toast and tetarek, which was a simple milk tea, I think come from India, if I'm not mistaken. And that was it. Also can be an afternoon treat. Up to you. Respect to my Malaysian friends. Anyway, is that Malaysian or Singaporean? Let me know in comment section. Alright, I guess that was it. Like always, keep baking and take a good care of yourselves.